What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I am still in Maryland. How you doing, Pop?
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Some unforeseen circumstances, and I'm still in Maryland. But here we are. We're podding again, trucking through, making it happen.
That's it. I got a boarder, new unexpected boarder in the house.
Yeah, rent will be charged soon. Thank goodness I paid my January rent early. Anyways, before we get started, we obviously just want to offer our prayers, our thoughts to Damar Hamlin, to his family, all of the Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, coaches, everybody connected to that situation. We were watching it live, and we all just kind of sat there in silence, which I don't know if you could guess based off the fact that we have a podcast, but for this group is a very uncommon thing. We usually don't all sit in silence, and we sat there in silence for probably about 20 minutes. Just
in shock.
In shock.
Yeah.
So far there's been some positive updates. Hope things keep trending in the right way. And, before we go any further, we just wanted to acknowledge that and offer our thoughts and prayers to the young man and his family.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better myself. Just hope he gets well. That's all that's important. Bigger than football.
100%. If you want a more eloquent, elaborate take on that, I'd say maybe check out Ryan Clark. He's total class act in the way he handled and talked about it, and his appearance both with Scott Van Pelt and on SportsCenter were just incredible. I think he put into words what a lot of us are feeling, and also a really great perspective on it from a former NFL player, somebody still involved with it to this day.
Yeah, and I think in life we have a tendency to put, maybe athletes and musicians and movie stars or whatever else, on a pedestal. And at the end of the day, we're all people. And we all have, very similar issues and problems. And life is really precious. You never know when things could turn a different way. And it was, it also, to see the reaction of teammates and the community and fans and everyone, I think, in the end, really, did the right thing in response to the situation. Is charity, has earned millions of dollars. I mean, that's all the people around the world contributing to that. So, but yeah, I just hope he's okay.
Yep. I think it's all on that.
Yep.
Like we said, thoughts, prayers from the Dom and Pop podcast. And
Absolutely.
All of our family out to Damar and his. We've got a fair bit of news over here in D.C. for a meaningless week, because nothing is truly meaningless in Washington, D.C., apparently. So let's get right into it. Big headline. Sam Howell will start against the Dallas Cowboys. Pop, take it away.
Yeah, I think the news first came out that it was going to be Taylor Heineke, and then I think even Ron admitted in his press conference today, we're recording this on Wednesday, that he originally was thinking about Taylor, and then decided to go with Sam Howell after getting a lot of feedback. It sounds like, you mentioned the story. I'll let you tell the story about Taylor's input to that. But I think in the end it was the right decision. I wasn't so sure, right after the game, because I was a little nervous about playing the rookie against a team that is playing a meaningful game and potentially going after the number one seed in the NFC. And obviously the Cowboys, as much as it pains me to say it, appear to be really good. I hope they crash and burn in the playoffs as per normal. But, I think in the end, after giving it some thought in the motions of the game settling down, it makes the most sense without a doubt. Number 14, that was my number. Rooting for Sam Howell. You can't, good or bad, I don't think you can pass complete judgment in one game, but I'm definitely, excited to see what he can bring to the table. I think it was the right call for sure. I didn't totally hate the idea of Taylor starting and maybe Sam Howell coming in relief just to take a little pressure off the kid, but in the end, I think it was the right decision to start Sam Howell.
Yeah, early on in the day, it seemed like that was kind of that was going to be the plan.
Right.
We were going to start with Heineke and move to Howell, and then as the day went on, Ron didn't directly say it. I think it's rumors, but it was actually rumored that Heineke and Ron talked, and Heineke was like, I think Sam's done what he needs to do to earn the opportunity to go play. Don't know how true that is, but there's some rumors floating around about that. I wouldn't be surprised that based off the kind of guy that Taylor is, maybe that happened, maybe it didn't. But what Ron did say, he talked with several key team members, leaders. You got to imagine guys like Terry McLaurin, Jonathan Allen, and got their opinion on the subject, and they all were in support of moving forward with Sam Howell for this week. They thought he'd progressed a lot over the course of the season, and they think he's ready to show us whether or not he's ready, I guess.
It's speculation, but I think from what Ron said in his press conference, he said that he talked to Taylor and got feedback from Taylor. So it seems to support the theory.
The part that I meant with speculation is whether or not Taylor directly said, hey,
right.
Sam deserves a start.
But he said part of the feedback I received was also from Taylor. So, that would indicate that Taylor, at least through his support.
Yeah, and
Sam's
who knows?
Pretty interesting, and you brought it up too. Your boy Carson Wentz down to third string.
When was the last time there's been a team going into Week 17 in a win and you're in scenario? Got to win out, right? They name a quarterback the starter. And then by Week 18, he's inactive. When was the last time you've seen that?
I think that the last time I've seen it, and it would only be in Washington, was I do think when Jay Gruden was toggling back between RG3 and Cousins, and we had Colt McCoy in the mix too. And I think he went from starting RG3 to making him inactive.
Was that okay? I'm thinking of a different
I mean, it wasn't a playoff situation. It wasn't a playoff situation, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's highly unusual. It's only in Washington, and I think having the benefit of a couple of days to really think back on that whole situation, and probably unanimous opinion of every Washington football Commanders fan is, what a mistake. Like, what? I mean, it's one thing to sign Carson in the offseason with some hope that he could recapture some of, talented guy. Maybe he was one of the best options available. But to go back to him with 2 games left, and I said that, like, what's going to be proven in 2 games, right? What an egregious mistake.
Yeah, it was a mistake of career-ending magnitude for all parties involved. We'll see if that's how it plays out, but those are mistakes you traditionally see across the NFL that you laugh when it comes across. It's like a team like the Titans or, I don't know, the Cardinals, a team that you don't really care about, comes across the TV. You hear about something like that happening, you laugh. But when it happens in Washington, somehow, we'll see where it goes.
Well, the 2 things, the 2 things that were just incredibly bad looks for Ron, right? It's starting Carson, and then secondly, not knowing that they could be eliminated from the playoffs in the press conference. I don't think we touched on that too much last pod because I didn't really believe it. I didn't hear that one snippet from the press conference.
You saw the clip at the beginning of the podcast.
Right. I'm like, yeah, we did put a clip in there. Dominic did that, which was cool. But
maybe I'll put it right here. Maybe I won't. We'll see.
We'll see. But those are 2 really bad looks for Ron. And what's even a worse look is another 7, maybe 8 win season. But another non-winning season, 3 seasons in. And
especially when you spent the whole offseason talking about 2 things. We're going to make a big splash at quarterback. Well, you did make a splash, but it's kind of like the splash when you take a dookie and it splashes up. And then we're going to make a big step forward.
Could you not have come up with a better
No, I couldn't have. I think that's exactly what that splash was. That's the splash. It's a big splash.
That's awful.
Not a good one.
Just let it go. Let it go.
We'll move past it. He'll probably ask me to edit that out and post.
I'll leave it. I mean, that's you stand by your comments.
I stand by it. No offense personally to anybody.
I think we'll see what happens. I think ultimately it's incredibly disappointing finish. I mean, for me, one of the things that I've struggled with Ron is decision making. His in-game decision making. I think situational awareness in the game and when to go for it, when not to go for it, when to conserve clock, when not to. And this is an example of a coaching decision that's made at a time where, if you really look back with the benefit of some hindsight, was a horrible time to make that change. And also, how does it impact Taylor building up to it in the 49er game or the Giants game for that matter, where he's starting to look over his shoulder and he doesn't have the full confidence of the coach, putting him in that position. I think it was, like you said, it could be a fatal error. The good news, and I said it last pod, I'll say it again, is that if there's one consolation for me, I really didn't want any validation while Dan Snyder's still the owner. And there was a part of me, although I would always root for the team to win, and I wish we would have gone 10-6 or just gone on a run and stayed undefeated the rest of that run. At least, I'm glad that he didn't get any validation to say, look, I told you so, the decisions I've made. Look at the results, even if it was a parting shot out the door or any chance of changing his mind. So small silver lining for me.
Yep. So speaking of Ron's decision-making, let's talk about the one thing I guess we haven't talked about in regards to this whole Sam Howell situation, which is probably the most obvious question. Do we like the call to go to Sam Howell? Are you happy with it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm happy with it as well. I do have some reservation about how good Dallas is and just the fact that based off of how things went last week, there will be overreaction one way or the other. By the fans, just think about what we were saying about Taylor Heineke after that first game against Tampa. There will be overreaction when you see one game from a quarterback at the end of the season, especially if it goes well, there will be overreaction on the good side, and if it goes badly, there's going to be overreaction on the bad side. So that's my one concern about it.
But you can't let that drive your decisions at the end of the day.
It's a Hail Mary for Ron, in my opinion. I think Ron is looking at it going, if Sam comes out and looks average or better, I can say, hey, look, give me another year with this guy, and I'll get it right. It gives him a little bit more leverage.
I'm not sure that's his motivation.
He's pulling out. He won't say it is.
Well, it sounds like his first decision was to play Taylor. So I think it sounded like he was talked out of that by a bunch of people in the building, at least if you believe what he's saying. So maybe, you never know. But
traditionally, it's kind of a ripcord for a head coach that's on his last leg to go, oh, but I have this rookie quarterback.
Yep.
And then especially if the rookie plays well.
Maybe.
So we'll see. Hey, if Sam comes out and begins the next Tom Brady career and Ron stays as the next Belichick, you're not going to find anybody happier than me.
Quickly, though, total benefit of hindsight, not what you would have done then, but where you are sitting today and knowing the results that we got, would you have made this decision to go to Sam Howell sooner? Would you have gone to Howell 3-4 games ago, or maybe instead of going to Heineke, go to Howell?
No, because I see no reason. First of all, Heineke was good enough last season to get a shot. Second of all, I see absolutely no reason to go to Howell over Heineke if you're purely trying to win games. And up until last week when we decided to go to Wentz, and that's what I was trying to say. I don't see any reason why they should have moved on from Heineke in the first place. I would have stuck with him.
Quick take. It was a trick question a little bit. But I'm saying if we know the results, right, we know that with the decision that was made, we're out of the playoffs in the last week, and the whole justification for playing them this week is because it's meaningless. I'd say play him. I'd say if I could go back in time and know what the results were, I'm playing him. I'm playing him much sooner in the season because why not? The results aren't going to be any worse. In fact, you could argue if we lost a couple more games, it'd be better for the team. So, but anyway, kind of a silly question.
Interesting question, but it's all good. We'll move on. Let's get into the NFL playoff picture. NFC, let's start with what we're dealing with here, which is the NFC East. We blew it to have the NFC Beast because if we had beat Cleveland and then we won this week, all 4 teams would have gotten it. But that didn't happen. So 3 teams already clinched it. Philly, Dallas, New York already clinched. We also have the 49ers, the Bucks, and the Vikings. Those 3 have all clinched home field. So crazily enough, you have the 8-8 Bucks who have clinched home field, but you have the 13-3 Dallas Cowboys still playing to win their division this weekend. So pretty interesting there and needing some help, funnily enough. So the scenario is essentially Giants have nothing to play for other than maybe a meaningless wild card seed swap if they care about that. Philly win, number 1 seed. Dallas win, Philly loses. Dallas is the number 1 seed. Dallas clinches the NFC East. If Dallas and Philly lose, how about this? Hottest team in football, 9 wins in a row, San Francisco 49ers, number 1 seed.
It's irrelevant.
That would be wild. What? You say it's not going to happen. We got Slinging Sammy Howell coming
Sammy
in.
could ball out.
And Jalen Hurts might not be back.
I was first with that.
First one with that. So that's your NFC picture. For the 7 seed, we kind of have a complicated situation here. The easiest outcome is if Green Bay beats Detroit. Green Bay beats Detroit, Green Bay's in. Doesn't matter what else happens. If Seattle wins and Green Bay loses to Detroit, Seattle is in. If Detroit wins and Seattle loses, Detroit is in. That's your NFC playoff picture. Play it back a few times if that's not clear.
There'll be a quiz at the end of this podcast.
I broke it down for you. And on the AFC
Could you repeat
side,
that one more time?
I can if you want me to.
Just
You
kidding.
get on me on time limit if I do. But on the AFC side, we have a little bit more complication just because of the DeMar Hamlin situation and the Bills game. Obviously, the playoff picture is not the important thing. In all of that, we've already talked about that. But so the Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, all still in limbo for the number 1 seed. Each one need different amount of help. But because of that Bills-Bengals game, too complicated to get into right now. Jags versus Titans, win and in. Whoever wins that game makes the playoffs. If the Titans lose that game, they're out. It's over. They're done. If the Jags lose that game, they can still get in, but they need a lot of help. Pats, Jags, Finns, and Steelers, the Dolphins and the Steelers, are all vying for that 7 seed. The Ravens have clinched, by the way. I didn't say that yet. Sorry to our Ravens insider. Ravens have clinched. But Patriots,
Lamar comes back.
Patriots, Jaguars, Dolphins, Steelers, all vying for that 7 seed. That is provided the Jaguars do not win and knock the Titans out of the AFC South. If the Patriots win, they're in. If Miami wins and New England loses, Miami's in. If the Steelers win and those other 3 teams lose, they're in. And if the Jaguars lose and all 4 of those teams lose, they're in.
Quick prediction. Who you think locks up the 7th spot, both the AFC and the NFC?
Well, that is a big part of our bottom bet.
So we're going to get to that.
So I don't want to give it away because both of those games are on the slate.
I'm going to throw you a curveball because I'm feeling loose. You did the outline today. You know, miracles happen. And I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball. Do you think Lamar comes back and plays this season? Quickly.
Complicated
Speed round.
Complicated question.
For our Ravens insider.
Yes. My answer is yes.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling that cynical.
Yeah, I hope so. Not just for, Ravens Nation. I hope so. But
I don't want to speculate because we're not up to date on those reports the same way that Ravens fans are, and I don't want to throw any misinformation out there.
Yeah, if I guess the thing is, you hope he's healthy enough to get back and play, and hopefully, at this point, probably wait till the playoffs. But
I think he would like to get a playoff win on his resume for that contract negotiation because that's been one of the big knocks on him is his performance in clutch situations.
But on the other side of that, how motivated is he to risk his health without a contract next year?
Let's give him a call. I don't know.
Hey, Lamar, come on the show.
Yeah, hey, if Lamar, if you want to come on, we'll all wear the Oakleys. We'll wear purple. Get a Ravens poster back there. It'll be great. But so without further ado, let's get to our bets. Week 17 recap. Obviously, not counting the Bills and Bengals game. Pop was 0-4. Absolute stinker.
Got to go to the Go Juice.
He's got to hydrate. It was so bad. His overall record has now slid to 35, 39-2.
What's yours?
I went 2-2 last week with my overall record at 32, 41-2. So basically, I'm 3 games back from Pop.
Neither one's worth bragging about.
No. My 2 wins were Dallas -9.5 and Steelers +3, which, if I say so myself, absolutely astute picks.
Just you're wondering who we picked, why I stunk. Go back. We got shorts out there, previous podcasts. Like, subscribe, all those good things.
Yes, sir. Well said. So, without further ado, that was then. This is now. Let's get into the bottom bets for Week 18. Tennessee at Jacksonville -6 Saturday night. AFC South on the line. Pop, who do you like?
Going with the Jags and Sunshine.
Ooh, taking Trevor Lawrence. 7-point favorites there. He's going against what you usually do. You don't usually like giving up that many points.
I should go against what I usually do given my record last
He's
week.
broken the system. I tell you what, I was hoping you were going to take Tennessee. I'm going with Jacksonville as well. I just think Tennessee has kind of petered out defensively, and Josh Dobbs, cool story, maybe not a playoff clinching quarterback, in my opinion. Next up, we got Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati, 7-point favorites, Sunday, 1 o'clock. As far as we know, Huntley will still be the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. Pop.
I'm sorry, Ravens insider, really, but I got to go Bengals. I just feel like their team's going in two opposite directions. I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, I'm taking Cincy as well there. I just like the Bengals. They're good. Detroit at Green Bay. There's a found Dominic moment for you right there. Detroit at Green Bay. -4.5 for the Green Bay Packers. Sunday night, Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau, winning your in scenario. Can you ask for much better?
That's going to be a heck of a game. I'm going to go Green Bay on that one. I mean, I do think it's the opposites, two teams going in the same direction, both kind of on heaters. But I like Green Bay to close that out and get the win there. And they've been, winning convincingly recently, and their defense is playing really great, which people are sleeping on.
Yep.
So I'm going Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm taking Green Bay as well there. Kind of annoyed you're making such good picks because I can't really.
You're not going to catch me like this.
Can't really pick up traction on you this week.
I'm going first too, so you can't accuse me of anything.
I'm going Green Bay. Yeah, like what you said, Jair Alexander's been playing really well. Preston Smith, former commander, Redskin, whatever you want to call it, he's been playing really well. Defensive lineman. Green Bay. Next up, forgot I was the one doing that. Rams at Seahawks. Seahawks are 6.5-point favorites. Seahawks have to win this game, and the Detroit Lions have to win their game against Green Bay. Sunday, 4:25 p.m. What do you like, Pop?
Well, yeah, it's a good point because they really won't know anything when they play. So from their perspective, they got to win. They're not going to be like in a situation where, interesting that they have those games at two different times. But I go Seattle at home.
Jeez, yeah, I'm with you again. Yeah, no way I'm taking Baker there. 12th man will be in effect. Gino's going to be playing for an extra few mil on that contract if he can get the boys to the playoffs. So let's go Seattle there. New England at Buffalo. Buffalo 7-point favorites Sunday at 1 o'clock. What do you like?
Yeah, just hoping by that point there'll be more encouraging news, with the situation there. And, yeah, somewhat of a tough spot for Buffalo and bouncing back. But I like Buffalo. I like Buffalo at home there.
This is the one time I'm going to hit you a little left. I'm going to take New England. It's a Belichick team with the playoffs on the line. I think they're just going to come ready to play. I don't think they're going to win, but I think they're going to play it closer than -7. So I'm going to take New England, maybe get a little fancy. Maybe I pick up a game on you.
It's solid.
Playoffs.
It's solid.
So we finished a few minutes early here, so I'm going to throw you a curveball. You've already thrown me a curveball. I want to see.
Bring it, son.
We got a pretty good idea of what the playoff picture is going to look like, right?
Right.
Obviously, going into the year, we were very right about the AFC side of things, and you more so than me, but some injuries got in the way. We were pretty wrong about the NFC side of things.
I don't even remember who I picked.
You picked the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh.
I picked the Packers.
I was very wrong.
I picked the Packers, so obviously I'm taking Green Bay there. But
who'd I pick in the AFC?
We both picked the Chiefs.
All right.
So we're good on that. I've already won that bet. Packers got closer. That's how we said we were going to tie break it.
Man, I got to go back to the tape. I don't remember any of this.
I promise you it happened. But do you have any hot takes going into the playoffs? Any teams that you think maybe could cause an upset? Any teams you think might fall apart, come unglued a little bit when you don't expect it?
I mean, it's interesting going in just quickly. I mean, the Eagles are playing their worst ball of the season at the worst time. As much as I hate it, Dallas has been getting hot. Giants are sneaky. As much as I resisted that take, they're sneaky and playing well. They certainly took care of us. Green Bay getting hot at the right time. Tampa Bay starting to find their legs. NFC's tough. I'm just going to say that. I don't have...
NFC's gritty, right?
I don't have a vibe. Vikings got, crushed. And so, everyone's been wondering, well, are they a fake or is it real? And they kind of, they've got a great record and they've got a lot of really good wins, but they got a butt whooping there against Green Bay. So I don't know. It's really hard to ride one of the teams. I mean, the 49ers, I just don't like the quarterback situation. Are they really going to ride? It'd be a hell of a story. Make for a great movie. Last pick in the draft leads you to the Super Bowl. Does Jimmy G come back? I think there's all these uncertain stories. I mean, funnily enough, other than the 49ers, the team that's probably playing the best is the Cowboys. But I sure as hell am not picking the Cowboys.
No way.
I mean, the AFC, it's just, battle of the Titans. Chiefs, Bills, Bengals.
So
what more do you want?
So no,
I'm not going to make a pick, but
no hot takes, nothing quick. Nobody you think maybe was going to fall apart or maybe is going to outperform their seed a little bit.
Nah, that's all I got for you, son.
I'll give you a hot take.
Because you seemed itching to give me yours.
I'll give you some hot takes.
Yeah.
I think the NFC...
Hot takes?
Which is what you said. I think the NFC is wide open. And I think people...
Basically what I said.
I'm going to finish. I think people are sleeping on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Of course.
That was a very, very injured team.
Do you want to make a sleeper pick for Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos to make a late run here?
Let me state my case. People forget. New head coach down there, Todd Bowles. Very injured team to start the year. Had a lot of key injuries. Are getting healthier now. Tom dealing with everything he was dealing with off the field. Go check out any tabloid in the world if you want to read about that. All of a sudden now they're getting hot at the right time of the year. And they got home field, at least for the first
Hotter
game.
than Green Bay?
So that was going to be my second take. I think the Bucs and the Packers should the Packers make the playoffs? If they get in my opinion, it's Bucs, Packers, and 49ers would be the three teams to watch in the NFC, and I take the Bucs and the Packers.
You mean Tom Brady, the future Washington Primes quarterback?
That's all for today, folks.
End it right.
I got nothing left. I've been Dom.
This is Pop.
Thanks again for another great week, guys.